Hey girl, hey, what's up? I was just scrolling on TikTok and I saw this one creator talking about how they have really cheap healthcare in Turkey. And I've been meaning to get some stuff checked out, but I'm not trying to pay all that money. And I was thinking, I've kind of been in the mood for a trip. I was just wondering, I kind of want to go to Turkey. Wait, hold on. You knew I want to go to Turkey? Yeah, because I saw the same video on Loki. I want to go to Turkey too. Okay, then let's go to Turkey. We're going to Turkey. That has to be one of the worst skits I've done yet. Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. Today, if you could not tell by the skit or by the title of this video, we are talking about healthcare. Ooh, spooky. I know, spooky conversation, but I promise we'll break it down and make it a little bit easier. Basically, there's been a trend going on the internet. TikTokers have been traveling from the US to countries like Turkey or Singapore, making videos documenting their experience getting what is seen as luxury healthcare for relatively cheap prices in comparison to America. And these videos have gone viral and have gotten people very excited over the topic of health tourism, as well as equally upset with the American healthcare system, with many wondering how they can start planning their own trips to take advantage of their own healthcare, and others skeptical to the legitimacy and safety of taking such travels and getting such procedures. Because as we've seen online already, not all healthcare is good healthcare, i.e. the veneer techs, botched and deadly BBLs, and more that we've seen in the past couple of years. So in this video, we're going to be talking about what exactly is health tourism, whether or not it's legit, and as these influencers have been describing, as well as getting into whether or not this is all safe to do, and if so, why we don't see something similar in the American healthcare system. Now we have a lot to talk about, so sit back, grab a snack, and thoroughly enjoy the show, because this is going to be a good one. But before we get into the meat and potatoes, it is alarming to see that most of y'all that are watching are not subscribed. The statistics are staggering. So if you have not already and enjoy a bit of internet discourse talking about pop culture, music, and apparently as of today, the American healthcare system, then be sure to subscribe and leave a like on this video because it helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm. You can also follow me on all my socials at Imurgency on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter to get additional content, looks, and opinions that you may not get alone from this channel. And while we're talking about additional content, you can also click the join button and become a channel member today to get 2 additional exclusive channel member videos a month, as well as early access to every single one of these videos, starting for as low as $1 a month. But without further ado, let's get into what exactly is going on here. So what exactly is going on here? Well, I'll tell you. Influencers on TikTok and Instagram have been advertising this new wave of health and medical tourism. And first, I think it's important to define what health/medical tourism is. According to Google.com, health tourism is defined as the practice of traveling to a tourist destination with the main purpose of receiving some therapeutic treatment. Think of traditionally going to somewhere relaxing to get a massage or to get acupuncture, or in recent more extreme cases that have been talked about extensively on social media, people traveling to other countries to get BBLs or dental work that may be advertised as lower priced, or procedures that are done that are typically not allowed in the US. And in this case though, we're talking about something that's a little bit more tame, where TikTokers have recently gone viral for traveling across the world in search of premium healthcare for a very affordable cost. So we're talking about things like your average physical, your average doctor's visit, as well as things like blood work, body scans, and other types of screenings for a generally low cost. And in these influencers' videos, the experience looks very much luxury, especially in comparison to what a lot of people experience as the American healthcare system. Because in these places like Turkey or Singapore, these packages are more so an experience than just a regular checkup. They're shown getting very in-depth preventative care that would normally cost people thousands in the US, only totaling out to be around a couple $100s in places like Turkey.
I flew to Turkey to get the most in-depth checkup of my life, and it was the greatest thing I've ever done for my health and my bank account. Doing this in the US would have cost me thousands and taken months to line up, but in one day, we're doing it all. Scans, tests, meetings with specialists, and the price of everything is jaw-dropping.
And I think when we talk about this, it's important to really highlight the country's stance on all this, because when we talk about Turkey specifically, Turkey has a very strong medical tourism community, and that's actually one of the country's strengths. And that's actually one of the things that the country actually is proud of. And a quote from estaworldturkey.com, Turkey is at the center of medical tourism and accommodates patients from all over the world with its superb medical treatment and procedures. Every year, thousands of patients travel to Turkey to absorb the professional services, advanced medical techniques, and low-costing treatments. The most common treatments in Turkey are reflected in plastic surgery, dental procedures, transplants, as well as treatments related to heart problems and cancer. Clinics and hospitals in Turkey behold the highest clinical standards. So when it comes to healthcare in Turkey, medical tourism is nothing new. In fact, apparently they're home to a lot of high-quality medical professionals. And from just looking at the videos that these creators have put out about their experience, the whole experience looks kind of nice, especially for the price. But then it kind of makes you wonder, like, okay, if it's so good, why don't more people do this? Well, and then you remember, oh, It's literally in Turkey. But then it makes you wonder, if it's so far, then why are people still doing this? Why is this still happening? Well, if we want an official answer, according to the CDC, medical tourists pursue medical care abroad for many different reasons, including decreased costs, recommendations from friends or family, the opportunity to combine medical care with a vacation destination, a preference to receive care from a culturally similar provider, or a desire to receive a procedure or therapy not available in their country of residence. So yes, all of that, but I feel like what's being highlighted in a lot of these influencers' videos, and a point that is being really driven home, especially with the rise of consciousness about the healthcare system and how that actually works, people really just want to have healthcare that does not cost them an arm and a leg, and actually feel listened to by the healthcare providers that they're working with. And this is no shade or a slight to any healthcare provider, because Lord knows if we've learned anything in the past 4 to 5 years, they are our last hope, and they work hard. And I will always have so much respect for people that work in healthcare, because I know it's such a demanding job. And it is also true that because of that, there are many people that have had negative experiences with the healthcare system, whether it be not being believed, not receiving the proper type of care, or not being able to afford the care that they need due to insurance or the lack thereof. Where it makes sense where this idea of getting this full service premium style of healthcare can be really attractive to a lot of people, where they've grown up in an environment where that's just not the norm and or an affordable option for them. So seeing these TikTokers travel so far for these medical experiences can really be aspirational and inspiring to some people. Okay, before we get into unpacking exactly what the experience people are getting when they're going to places like Turkey or other places where health tourism is very popular, let's really unpack what the modern healthcare experience is right now for the US. Trigger warning, the healthcare system. So it's no secret that the healthcare system in the US sucks. It's so expensive. It has so many different workarounds, second opinions, and just general disparities in the quality and type of healthcare you receive that make it the hassle that it is. It's been memed on, it's been parodied. There's like a whole South Park musical number talking about navigating the American healthcare system. Like, it is no secret that the system that we have right now kind of sort of sucks. And having to navigate this space so frequently is a hassle and a burden, both emotionally, physically, and financially. And not having to deal with any of that is a luxury. For those that don't have to worry about their health very often, it's not something that you think about super duper often, but for those that are chronically ill, do get sick or injured, or just generally don't have the option, whether or not they have to deal with the healthcare system, like those that are immunocompromised, those in the disabled community, things can get very rough. According to an article called Americans' Challenges with Healthcare Costs by Luna Lopez, Alex Montero, Marley Preziato, and Liz Hamill, about half of US adults say it's difficult to afford healthcare costs, and 1 in 4 say that they or a family member in their household had problems paying for healthcare in the past 12 months. So this is a real issue for a lot of people. And the gag is, whether you are healthy now or not, everyone has to / will encounter some issues with the healthcare system at some point in their lives, because everyone gets sick and will get old at some point in their lives. The article goes on to say that notable shares of adults still say they're worried about affording medical costs such as unexpected bills, the cost of healthcare services, prescription drug costs, and long-term care services for themselves or a family member. You can never really predict when you're going to be sick. So there's the constant fear of having these unexpected medical charges, because you never really know how your life is going to pan out. But then a whole other thing is that a lot of medical treatments in the US don't really practice preventative care, meaning maintaining healthy lifestyle checks and screenings to prevent and monitor illnesses and issues from arising or getting bad in the first place, and catching them early. And instead, oftentimes, what the system is built off of is curative care, which means trying to fix and cure ailments and issues once they're already there. And while there are certain things about the healthcare system that are a little preventative, by and large, the outlook is we'll fix it once it's an actual problem. And I can give you a couple guesses as to why that may be. Money. But it doesn't seem like the system is set up to be in the patient's interest. Now let's contrast that to what people have been saying the experience has been in Turkey. So according to healthtourism.com, and yes, that apparently is a real website, speaking about Turkey specifically, they say that Turkey is one of the world's premier destinations for medical tourism. One of the top high quality facilities available to medical tourists have access to thermal spas and wellness services, which incorporate 5-star hotel accommodation into their packages. Both government and private healthcare institutions are conducting strict implementation of quality, technical, and medical standards. These standards are constantly monitored by independent watchdogs established in the health ministry. I think the whole concept of travel healthcare packages is wild, but that seems to be the experience. And there are multiple videos about the different procedures that people choose to get flying out to Turkey. Like, of course, you have the main one that we talked about earlier. Like, you have creators go again to get treatment for their skin.
They recommended a vampire facial, which in the US, these usually cost over $1,000.
In Turkey, it's only $169.
You have videos of people going to Turkey for hair transplants.
The clinic we worked with, Estee Nove, covers airport pickup, your hotel room, and all transportation to and from the clinic. Recovery is really quick. You can fly home the day after the initial wash, and James went back to work just 2 days after the procedure.
And more. And with all this, it kind of just shows that the general experience that people were talking about online are getting these very in-depth, comprehensive screenings, procedures, what have you done for a significantly cheaper price than what they would have paid for those same procedures in the US. And whether or not you're to believe that some of these are advertisements from Turkey or from whatever provider they're working with, it does seem to show that getting some procedures in other countries may genuinely be a cheaper alternative to those procedures in the US. And it's not just Turkey either. According to a 2023 report from Medical Tourism Mexico, about 1.2 million Americans have visited Mexico for specialized surgeries, saving up to 80% in cost for these procedures. And going back to Turkey, their medical tourism site gives a whole chart breakdown showing the difference in cost and care for different procedures, getting them done in other countries versus getting them done in Turkey. And while this chart that I'm looking at right now doesn't have it for US hospitals, it's a comparison for UK to Turkey. It is still interesting to see the difference in cost of care for the same procedures. Things as mundane as getting dental work, like getting your teeth whitened. It says that the UK costs here anywhere from $900 to $1,200. In Turkey, they range from $400 to $500. Like, the difference there is honestly crazy. And it really makes you wonder, if these are the same procedures, why is there such a difference in cost? And through that same line of thinking, if there is a difference in cost, is there a difference in quality? Mainly getting at, is all of this safe? And the answer to that is really, it depends. Like anywhere you're getting medical treatment for, you do need to exercise an abundance of caution and skepticism from wherever you're getting your services from, and to do ample research beforehand. Speaking specifically to dental work, this one dental professional spoke a lot about how to tell the difference and kind of have that discernment over the care you're receiving.
I know you're all looking to go to Turkey to get your teeth done, and this video isn't to stop you from going. It's the things that you might want to look out for if you want to go. However, if dental practices are offering you a consultation online and straight away booking your treatment without seeing you first, this is a red flag. Another thing that you might want to look out for is whether they're giving you options that go beyond just 24 crowns, or what they would call veneers. Ask them how much they prepare the teeth. Ask for photos. So if you want to see any photos of teeth that are being prepared, if they're truly veneers, the front surface of the tooth is cut and not the whole way around the tooth. If you are under the age of 40, 50 maybe, and unless you've had a lot of problems with your teeth, if they're recommending 24 crowns on teeth just to change the colour of your teeth, that's a red flag. I do think also another red flag is including airport transfers and hotels. I feel that this is something to sweeten the deal, but at the end of the day, you're going to a healthcare professional's premises to get work done. So I would take this with a pinch of salt and not let it sway you into going because you think, oh, well, why not? I'm getting a free hotel transfer.
And when it comes to other procedures in general, it really does depend. The reality is, depending on where you go and the type of care that you receive and the quality of care that you receive, medical tourism can be incredibly risky. Because while yes, you can go somewhere where you can get the top of the line care and can get the procedures and can do everything and walk away scot-free, and in often cases even better than you were before, there also is a very real reality that you can be going somewhere that does not have your best interests at heart. And you may end up going somewhere that, for whatever reason, whether that be differences in the quality of care, communication challenges via language barriers, or just the logistics of flying somewhere to get care, like air travel, like traveling by plane after getting a surgery, that can cause complications. And I also want to preface this by saying I am not at all qualified to be giving you medical advice, and you should not take this video as a sign to travel somewhere to get healthcare or not. What I'm saying is, regardless of the decision that people make, it is important that you do an abundance of research beforehand, making sure that the facilities and the clinicians that you are working with and in are up to snuff, doing good work, and are professionals that you can trust and are doing shady practices. But it's just really important to know what and who you're working with so that you don't end up in a veneer tech situation. Because there are so many examples of times where things just aren't safe. And something that I haven't talked about yet, and I think this is going to be the last point in this video, and that is the sort of like irony behind this whole conversation, this whole trend that we're seeing. It's the fact that at the end of the day, this whole notion of traveling overseas or traveling to different countries for better healthcare and better health treatment generally just is not accessible to the average everyday person, let alone accessible to a great portion of people that would actually need that form of healthcare. Because when you think about it, think how much of a hassle it would be for someone who is chronically ill, has mobility issues, or just generally disabled to just hop on a plane and travel 14 hours to receive care and then hop on another 14-hour plane back. Like, logistically, that's not feasible and realistic for so many people. And it's really a shame that something that's meant to be this financially accessible resource or alternative to the American healthcare system that people are trying to find an out of is not actually that accessible to the people that need the care the most. And while yes, the procedures themselves are generally cheaper than what it would cost to get that procedure in the US, a lot of times the travel and accommodations are not, depending on what you're getting done, which again generally speaks less to the trend itself and more to the state of the American healthcare system that we are currently in, because a lot more can and should be done for the people that need it the most. But yeah, that was a lot. I know the nature of this video is quite different from what I've covered in the past and can lend itself very quickly to being quite controversial. So I do want to say before I turn the mic to you to keep the conversation going in the comments below that you do remain respectful and keep it cute, because this topic can be a little hot button. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all right now. I'm not here to promote medical tourism or to not promote medical tourism, because at the end of the day, the decision is for whoever makes the decision. As long as you're informed and prepared, you can do whatever is best for you, where that research and attention is not put in there and people get themselves into very sticky situations. Like, I saw someone the other day on Twitter get a gap put in their teeth for the aesthetic of it. That's just crazy. Like, no real dental professional is going to let you do that. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, if you are new to the channel, then definitely hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and follow me on my social media on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter at Imurgency. But other than that, y'all, I've been Imurgency, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.